Ooh. Oh dear. Why? Why? Just why? Greets friends, folks, gentle beings of the universe. Welcome to another video. Who, where, why, when? Ain't money just the worst, eh? Why can't we move on from this archaic system of living? Let's use our big brains to come up with something new and improved for the betterment of the world, eh? But that's just whimsical, dreamlike thinking. Can't be done. But what's the point in striving for anything else? Am I right? So I had this idea of doing little tiny pixel art pieces. I was combining a few previous ideas in my head, and I just thought it would look nice, and it turns out they do kind of look nice, and I'm happy with them. I sketched them out in my sketchbook, and I kind of was just combining the buildings, the pixel art buildings that I'd done in a previous video, with the ones that I titled merchants, that were like food vans and vendors who all had vehicles, like they would set like food trucks, but like all fantastical. And I was kind of combining these two ideas, and I just had an image of how they would look in my head as very side on, almost like they're in some sort of side scrolling adventure game. So these are like nomads, merchants, little shops, and things like that. And I'm pleased with how they came out. Yeah, so they're like almost like as if I'm making little sprites, little assets for like backgrounds in games or something. I feel like they would work. Sometimes I trick myself into thinking like my stuff cannot be placed into professional things that I think of. And then I realize, well, yeah, they can. You know, like this could be in a game. There's no reason why it couldn't. It's hard sometimes. I applied for a job recently that I saw on Twitter for Might and Delight, who are a really cool company, making little games, little indie company. They were looking for a 2D artist. Haven't heard back. I don't know whether they're still getting entries or whatever. It was one of those weird situations where like sometimes I like to look up people who have professional jobs, and then I'm like, oh, what stuff do they do? Could I do that? And it's 50-50. Sometimes I'm like, cool, yeah, I'm actually at that skill level, kind of. I could do this stuff. And then other times it's a bit like, oh, God, this person's really good. That's why I guess they're hired. But having said all that, I'm not like properly looking for like full-time employment and something, even though that would be cool. At the same time, it's just one of those tough situations. I'm just in a weird place at the moment where I feel like I'm doing lots. I'm working hard, working on stuff that I want to work on. But at the same time, you can't help but think about like other stuff you could be doing, or like things you could be doing better, like getting contact with people and like showing your stuff to people. And it's definitely something that I want to do more of. It is just so draining, especially in times like these. I feel like in times like these, you just have to sort of actually genuinely reconsider what you think is important in life. And fundamentally, that's sort of just appreciating the present moment you're in. As always getting full on hippy dippy up in these videos, but it's just how I think. Sometimes you can see in people that, everyone sort of gets lost a bit. Everyone seems a little bit like too full on almost. It's almost like, it's the same analogy that I think of where we as humans have sort of sometimes we confuse the words for the actual things that they signify. So in that way, like for example, when we think the words are important, but the words aren't real. Like the words are stuff we've made up. They mean whatever they mean to you in your own head. Like even something that's man-made isn't actually a phone. Like the word phone is meaningless. It's just a noise. So in a similar way, I guess, I think we often confuse ourselves when it comes to like jobs. So the reason why you have a job is just so you can get money to survive. But why are you doing that? It's because you want to be like happy and live a peaceful life, really, isn't it? So don't put the job before the reason why. So maybe a certain specific jobs, there might be some job that you think, oh, that's really good, but it won't actually lead to your sort of enjoyment of life. So then why are you doing it? Whereas another job out there, you might be like, oh, actually, didn't consider that. I thought that would be bad, but now I'm doing it. And my life, separate from that, is actually all happy and good. I don't know where that convoluted little thing came from, but I just think it's just something that's going on where everyone's priorities are sort of getting jumbled up by this year, and you're sort of discovering who in the world around you, companies, politicians, whoever, like friends, people around, strangers. It's like all these crazy events, which just regular life I feel like we've just been building towards this anyway. It's like years ago, you can always just be like, even if there's nothing horrible going on for you, you can see that like the society you're in is doing these negative things that aren't sustainable. So I just feel like we've been building to this point. It's happening, and now everyone's priorities are just shaken up. So people are being either exposed for how good they are or how bad they are, as like priorities go. Like people's priorities are being shown for what they really are. So all the crazy anti-mask protesters are just like, wow, look at the rabbit hole your life has gone down. For you to be like that. I didn't take a breath then. I practically just ranted without breathing. I find myself doing that sometimes with these videos. And I'm like, wow, look at me go. But bringing it back to this art, I'm actually pleased with this. I sort of thought of like a little encampment around a little old clock tower, pretty Studio Ghibli, with like little tents and a little outpost and a little shopkeeper there. And then I thought of some sort of weird kind of like inn with a giant lantern on, and I was like messing around with how to do this inn, and I kind of wanted it to be so like the lantern is like as big as the shop in itself. And then the third one is just sort of like a weird little tent, a weird little sort of teepee style, like pointed tent that kind of looks like a witch's hat. I tried to do like each one at a different time of day. I don't know whether I fully got that down, but they were kind of meant to be like sunrise, sunset, and then night. I'm filming this in the week sometime, so this vlog's gonna be a few days old by the time you hear it, probably. The other day, the news broke in gaming news. Gaming update. Bethesda, makers of Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and the new Starfield that's gonna be coming out. Like my favorite games, basically. Elder Scrolls, one of my favorite games of all time, has been bought by Microsoft. So Xbox now own Bethesda. I'm worried. I want to get a PS5. I don't want to get an Xbox. It's lame, man. It's lame. I don't want that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that like all the Bethesda games, or at least most of the big ones, most of the good ones, still come to PlayStation and aren't exclusive. But that's what everyone's worried about. Everyone's like, oh god, now all the like, Elder Scrolls and all the Bethesda games are going to be exclusive to Xbox. That would be lame. Yeah, I don't really know why I'm making this video now. I feel like I'm not fully in the vlogging mood. I should have maybe thought about this better and not done it now. But, you know, you live and learn. You live and you learn. Or you live and you don't learn. Nah, ain't those the worst type of people. Ponchotober, Inktober update. I've been prepping things. I've been prepping how I'm going to be posting things. I'm thinking of doing, so if you don't know, I'm going to be doing a drawing every other day on my Instagram. I've made my own prompt list. It's going to be all throughout October. By the end of it, hopefully we're going to have 15 character designs, but you can join in if you want to, and you can do any drawing, art, style, type thing you want. I'm going to be doing my Poncho Pilgrim character designs, building a world of kooky characters and fantasy travelers, wizards and witches and whatnot. Go check out my prompt list. I've been prepping it. I've been thinking how I'm going to do it. All the characters are going to be in color. I'm also going to make it a bit like Dungeons and Dragons-y, where there's going to be a bar on the side with their like stats. I'm sort of planning the first one and I'm liking how it looks. That's about it. Hopefully it's going to be good. What else? What other things? I've had a couple of coffees. Doing well. I've started playing Super Mario Odyssey. Great game. Good fun time. Happy, chill, great music, fun little puzzles. That's a good time. Yeah, how many videos are on the way? Some. There are some. I guess possibly next week will be the Inktober video. Maybe, hopefully. Maybe not. Maybe the week after. But I have done one other pixel art video. And I've also done a sort of like Hades / Hyperlight Drifter mashup. Which I, for some reason, did. But yeah, one other topic that is sort of like vaguely in my head that I'm trying to sort of get out to you now through my words is, and I don't know why I wanted to talk about it now, but it's just some idea that I've been thinking about, been talking to people about time and time again. I keep coming back to it as sort of the root, the crux of a lot of problems that we have in many different ways, a lot of sort of conflicts between different people's opinions, and that is the fair world fallacy. Look up the fair world fallacy. It's an interesting theory, interesting idea. I definitely think that it sort of exists and affects people's mentality, especially when you think of people who are living in sort of privilege, and sort of, have gone through life with not too many worries compared to, sort of discriminated against, or like people who have gone through a lot of shit in their life. But yeah, the fair world fallacy is sort of the idea that if you believe that the base standard of like living and the rules that are and the things that are in place in society or just in general, when you were born and like since you've been alive, are fair, then it will naturally lead you to think certain things. I'll give you an example. For example, some people believe, like, how this manifests in some things is that, like, some people believe that if it's almost like karma. It's like a weird negative version of karma, that like can mess people up. It's like if a bad thing happens to someone, it must mean that they've been bad. They deserve it because the world is fair. So like, when you're seeing as if you haven't gone through any troubles, you haven't seen the bias or the unfairness. You think that your experience of living is the standard. So you might then be like, someone might be complaining, like if someone vocalizes how they're struggling in life, your automatic response might be to dismiss it because you haven't experienced it. And you thought, whoa, no, I live in a fair world. I live in a fair society. How can this person's experience be true? They must be bad. They must be wrong, or they must have deserved what they got. Interesting. I think it's pretty good. And it kind of fits into loads of different ideas. Like, it obviously fits into like the idea of white privilege. So like, being white and existing in the world, you naturally think that your experience is the standard. It can fit into like the male experience versus the female experience. It's how a man going through their life is not going to experience the same sort of discrimination or whatever But they're going to think, no, the world is fair. The rules are okay because they've been working for me, and so it leads them to be sort of like anti-feminist or whatever. But I think that I'm finding it hard to articulate, but I feel like it also raises its head into really mundane things as well. Almost like things like, oh, you haven't worked hard enough. If you aren't where you want to be, or like if you're, just existing, and if you're just complaining about something, if I just said something shit, or like, oh, that job's rubbish, innit? An automatic response for some people might be like, oh, well, you're not working hard enough. And it's like, well, no, it's because, like, have you looked around? Like, things ain't fair. Like, luck and shit just happen. We're all sort of in a cosmic mess of actions and reactions and determined events to happen. I throw a ball, it's going to hit over there. So, like, there's a weird combination of things that you can control and things that are out of your control. And I think people conflate things. So, people get false senses of sort of confidence. If they've done something and they've got a good response from it, then that means that's like fair and good and they've done a good thing. But just as equally, someone else might do the exact same thing and get a bad response. Anyway, I'll leave you with that little thought. Have a look up of the Fair World Fallacy if you want. It's quite interesting. And then go down the rabbit hole of chaos magic, manifesting goodness, working hard, doing things, but also spreading positivity, my dudes. Positivity, like this piece of art right here. Gosh darn it. What a masterpiece. Eh? What's 3 little nice little chill little pixel art diddly boops. Well, thanks for listening to me ramble. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing alright. Things just keep on going, don't they? Things just keep on going. Yeah, stick around for more videos. Go check my Instagram for the Inktober drawing prompt list thing. And I'll see you soon for more drawing, more art. I've been in a bit of a weird place where I'm like not really sure what to work on. I probably should focus a bit more on my graphic novel. It's coming along. I'm writing, need to do some more writing. But also, at the same time, I'm just taking some time out for myself. Things are exhausting. There's more COVID lockdown nonsense on the horizon. So just look after yourself, innit? Just look after yourself in this moment that you're existing. How are you actually feeling right now? It's probably fine. Probably. Like, you're probably okay. If you're sitting here listening to me waffle on about shit, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna be alright.